Okay, welcome, Miss K. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, good. So we want to talk about today about our TSA CBT test prep. This is the first stage, first step in the hiring process for uh, becoming a TSO. So the test is basically two part. One is X-ray, basically threat recognition, and then also your English, overall English proficiency and English language skills. So we cover both sides of the exam in our test preparation. It costs $29.95. It's one of the cheapest program that we have on our website because a lot of people, as you know, they don't like to use test prep, right?
No.
Yeah, they just kind of like to freestyle,
Yeah, they just
improvise.
want to see how they do with it, and then
Yeah,
and it's not always a great idea because you're not always successful on the first try.
exactly. So, I have had student. The name of the website, of course, is on the screen, but it's the California Real Estate License School.com, and we've been providing test prep for real estate initially, and then we kind of branched out around 2010, which was about 12 years ago, to like law enforcement test prep. So now we have test prep that covers all the law enforcement entrance exam, Pellet B for California. We also have one for Florida, the CJ-BAT and FBAT, and then also we covered other federal law enforcement like CBP, ICE, and also the LAPD entrance test. So now a lot of time people think that uh, they don't really think of TSA as law enforcement. Am I
Yeah.
right or not? Right?
No, we
Yeah,
think of
and
like airport security.
yeah, and it is. You are a law enforcement officer when you are a TSO. So you are enforcing the federal regulation when it comes to transportation security. So, they always people usually think of a law enforcement officer as somebody who's carrying a gun. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, you have a lot of law enforcement officers that work for the IRS. IRS has law enforcement officer, believe it or not. So, and some of them carry guns, and some of them they just have a badge. So, TSO working for TSA definitely is a law enforcement position. And when it comes to the English part, because we in our test prep we do have a lot of test prep. Practice exam and flashcards and whatnot to prepare for the English part and test you. But also we have interviews. So there is a portion of the exam where people are going to be interviewed at the airport. We also give them some tips as far as what to review when they have the airport assessment. That's when you pass the written test. You have to go to the airport and do in person basically testing. So this is not only, we named it the CBT test prep, but it actually goes beyond the CBT portion, which is the first part. It
So it
covers
helps you
the
through the
interview.
whole process.
Exactly. So it gives you a little bit of tips and preparation for the rest of the process. Because as you know, when you're, competing for a federal job or any government job, they're always gonna try to see who is scoring higher than you to basically give that person the job and not give you the job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you want to be as good as you can be on this test,
yeah.
just so that you can even get your foot in the door.
Exactly. So I want to touch a little bit on the X-ray portion because I've seen students and people that telling me that they used some video games. So there are these video games on Android that people were using, and you see like it's kind of like a video game where you find a gun and an X-ray and things like that. But this is very primitive and simple, and this is not what we see. Based on the feedback that we're getting from our student, this is not what you see at the exam. Okay, so this is like Like you'll see at one point it's gonna have like an obvious gun. So this says, okay, gun was found. This passenger is not allowed. So these are like very simple X-ray images
Yeah.
that these are not gonna prepare you
The stuff that you're
for.
gonna find in the real test is gonna be a lot more difficult to
Ah,
decipher.
definitely, definitely. So I wanna talk about those. I wanna talk about. So you see, like in this game for kids, it's just like I can't see an adult sitting here and playing this game. Really, really, it's just
Yeah.
like really obvious. Okay, so they found the gun. Oh, blah blah blah. Or you see like this type of X-ray. They're very basics. Okay, so there's like a hatchet. Oh my God, this is not allowed. This is a weapon. Another gun. So do not listen to these forums and places that they say you can prepare for the TSA by just putting this game on your Android phone or on your Apple iPhone or whatnot. So
There's much more to being
yeah,
an officer than just being able to look at these cheesy X-rays.
yeah, and they don't expect you to be a fully trained officer when
Yeah.
you pass these tests, but they want to know that you have a good preparation, you kind of ready to basically they say the rubber meets the road kind of
They
situation,
just
like you're
they want to
hitting.
make sure
Yeah,
that when they put you in the training that you're capable of understanding the training and being able to be a good officer once they do train you.
yeah,
They're not expecting you to know everything as a TSA
yeah,
officer off the bat.
exactly.
Just being able to pass their training.
Exactly. So I want to go over these X-rays that we put on our test prep because there was a reason why we put them. Okay. So here, for instance, the first, of course, we explained the color situation as far as the threat and what are the colors. The colors mean. Basically, the rule is that anything that is blue or going towards anything that is dark blue, usually that's something that you want to pay attention to right away, so in this example, obviously you can see the handgun, obviously you can see here the sharp knife. Okay, and
Yes.
then the other thing that is not really that obvious is this little battery situation with wires going into an orange container.
What
Yeah,
is that liquid?
yeah, this could be actually a C4. This could be a bomb and detonators. And if you go back to our table, you can see C4 is orange brown. So if you see a situation where a wire is going somewhere and it's kind of a device that you cannot recognize, most likely it could be a homemade bomb.
Yeah, and they have also
So
the aerosol can in there, which
yeah,
can
yeah.
also add fuel to.
Yeah, so you have multiple rules. So we actually put links in this page on what you need to know as far as the size of the liquid and aerosol and everything that is allowed. So as we go a little bit and sees the images. So another thing that I wanted to point out is when you see this shape right here, it's always either a folded knife or a magazine for a weapon. Okay, so this, just be familiar with this shape because you're gonna see that a lot. And then anything that is round and has a little bit of a rough edges usually is considered a grenade, some sort of explosive. And then anything that you see that is really sharp, usually a machete, a knife of some kind. So going back here, okay, you can also say, so this is your typical umbrella when you see these sticks, kind of like right next to each other. This is your typical umbrella, but behind the umbrella, you can see a cleaver. You can see a kitchen axe, I guess they call that also, right? So, and then also be familiar with tools. Okay, so like if you see a big hammer or something like that, this is also a no-no. Now a lot of time you'll see handgun in really weird position, not in our, like in our video game here where the handgun was very obvious. Okay, so you're not gonna, you rarely gonna see handgun coming up. Now it's not coming out on this video. Okay, I caught it right there. But yeah, this is really rare if you see a handgun like that in your test, but you're gonna see something like this. Okay, so this is gonna be sometimes you're gonna see from this angle, sometimes you're gonna see a shot from the top. and you have to be familiar with that. Again, the same thing, you have a laptop here, so there's just a lot of wires. There could be a charger that goes with that laptop.
And there's a
Uh,
cleaver in there.
yeah, and then eventually you see the cleaver, but also the tools. These,
Wrenches.
yeah, these wrenches are a no-go. Okay, so these are considered blunt weapons, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So now you also looking at these type of tool. I told you the folded knife is gonna trick you all the time. This type of small handgun, they trick you, especially when you look at them from this angle. If they put you a you know, an image from this angle and that angle, then you know, usually this is a handgun. You got to pay attention to the blue, and sometimes there is a red square around it. This is very hard to see also. You see, this is your folded knife from the top, you know. And then this is some kind of star used in martial arts.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah,
a ninja star.
ninja star of some kind. Yeah, and these are anything that is, you really don't need to know the name of this.
But it's amazing how much just the angle can change the
Yeah.
shape. So you have to be aware of like the different angles of the weapons.
Yeah, yeah, and then also just pay attention to the sharpness, because anything that is sharp is usually a no-go. It doesn't necessarily needs to look like a traditional knife. Um, the same thing here. This is a very tricky image here, because you have the magazine, you have the grenade, and then you have the knife right here. So it's hidden. So what? Let me test you here. What in this image right here in the top? What is the thread that you can see? Tell me a little bit.
The
Yeah.
wrench.
Okay, so that's the number one that is obvious. Okay, but
Yeah.
there are just hidden ones too. So you gotta. That's why you gotta pay
Is there
attention
a
to detail.
lighter in there? Is that a
Uh,
no go?
the lighter could be an issue.
And then
Yeah.
the one on the left in between the two bottles, is that
Yeah.
like a gun or a knife? Or
No,
what
that's the
is that?
folded knife right here.
Folded
So
knife,
yeah,
yeah.
so the big things are like you have these big containers of liquid that are also no go.
Yeah.
They call that a LAG, you know, so a lag. And then you have the blunt trauma, and you have a lighter, and then you also have your folded knife. So just be
Entire
a,
case of no goes.
yeah, just be careful with these folded item that could look just like this, or like a magazine like this. So, and then this is also another situation where you see the same object. This is a folded knife, but from the top. Okay, so right now here you can barely see, but it also got picked up by the computer, I guess the artificial intelligence that comes with the computer of the scanner. So here you have, it's been circled in, you know, this is also a hidden knife in some kind of container. Then you have your typical handgun here. It's pretty obvious. This is the lag that I was talking about, the bigger container of liquids. You got your hammer here, again, blunt weapon, and then you also have like a UZ kind of hand semi-automatic handgun sitting here with actually a suppressor, you know. So so this is usually a UZ. If you want to look it up, the shape of this gun, it's UZI, I believe, is an Israeli weapon, and it has a suppressor to basically cut the sound. Yeah. So you know, these are there was a reason we put these images on, on our test prep, because these are the trickiest one, but also like for the rest, of course you have to sign up to our you know, website. It's only $29.95. It's very affordable, and you can take these practice tests, especially for English. We have a lot of law enforcement related practice tests that you know, come in handy when it comes to like applying for
Yeah.
these positions.
If
Because
you have any struggles or just it's been a while since you've been in school, it doesn't hurt to, take these little refresher courses just to kind of, get your mind going and thinking in the right direction on essay writing and, any English skills that you might need to practice.
yeah, so we don't really have essay writing for this um, particular program, because they don't require you to write an essay.
Oh,
They're
okay.
just gonna do a computerized test where they're gonna test your English writing, reading skills, and a lot of these scenarios, the filling the gaps. A lot of time you're gonna see it's gonna be law enforcement related. It's gonna be like, so you need to be a little bit familiar with the law enforcement, um, you
So the
know,
vocabulary is
vocabulary.
specific to the test.
Exactly, exactly. So our website is californiarealestatelicensschool.com. And yeah, good luck to anybody who is taking the TSA test and they want to work for the federal government as a TSO, Transportation Security Officer. And that job can lead to other positions, because I have had students where they signed up for our CBP officer and they became a CBP officer at the airport, and for many years they were actually a TSA officer. They were working there, and that experience kind of led them to um, apply. Basically, they signed up for our CBP program and they passed the test, and they were able to get hired as a CBP officer. So it's an entry level job, but it builds a great career moving forward. Whether you want to stay with TSA and maybe become um, maybe a supervisor, go into management of TSA, or they also have like canine position for explosive detection that they hire. So a lot of time they end up hiring people that were already TSA officers. Or if you want to switch to another branch of Homeland Security and work as a Border Patrol agent, or work in an airport at the point of entries like a CBP officer. Thanks for watching this video. Again, the website is californiarealestatelicensschool.com, and we provide real estate and law enforcement test prep for anybody in the United States. Thanks for watching and have a great day.